EcoHub podcast. Back at it again with another deep dive for you. We love keeping you ahead of the curve on all things sustainability, and you know travel is no exception.
Absolutely.
This time we're taking you all the way to Japan.
Specifically Hokkaido. We found this awesome report from March 2024.
March 2024?
Yeah. It's from the Development Bank of Japan, actually, their Hokkaido branch. They've been looking at how adventure tourism can help make Hokkaido a truly sustainable destination.
Adventure tourism. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of this report, I think it's worth clarifying what we actually mean by adventure tourism.
Right, because some folks might hear that and think like bungee jumping off cliffs or something.
Yeah, exactly. Super extreme stuff. So what are we talking about here?
Think of it more as experiential travel with a bit of an adrenaline rush, you know?
Okay, I like that. Experiential travel. So guided hikes through those beautiful national parks.
It's it. Kayaking, maybe. Even learning traditional crafts. The idea is to connect with nature, culture, all that, but in a way that really gets your heart pumping.
So less jumping out of airplanes and more exploring hidden waterfalls. I can dig it.
Exactly.
But this report's not just about what adventure tourism is, right? It's about why it matters, especially in a place like Hokkaido.
Exactly. And one of the biggest things that DBJ highlights is the sustainability factor. Adventure tourism tends to attract those visitors who are willing to spend a little bit more, stay a bit longer, and really engage with the destination.
And that means?
Higher revenue with fewer visitors, which is a win-win for both the environment and the local businesses.
That makes a lot of sense. So instead of just flooding a place with tourists, you have a smaller, more dedicated group who are truly invested in experiencing everything a destination has to offer.
Exactly.
And speaking of experience, why is Hokkaido specifically being highlighted here? I mean, why is it such a great spot for this kind of tourism?
Well, Hokkaido already has this incredible reputation for its natural beauty, right? I mean, you've got World Heritage sites, vast national parks, unique cultural experiences. It's practically an adventurer's paradise.
I've seen pictures. The scenery is unbelievable.
And the DBJ is saying the potential is just waiting to be unlocked.
But I'm guessing there are some challenges too, right? No place is perfect.
Oh, of course. And one thing the report points out is that seasonality issue.
Oh, yeah, the classic seasonality issue.
They get tons of visitors in summer and winter, obviously, but it leaves those shoulder seasons.
Spring and autumn. A little quiet.
That's something a lot of destinations struggle with, right? Especially ones that are famous for their winter sports or summer hiking or whatever.
Totally. It makes it really hard for those local businesses to maintain that steady income year-round.
And the report talks about potential solutions for that.
It does. One of the big ones they suggest is attracting visitors from a wider range of countries.
Okay. Like right now, who are the main tourists going to Hokkaido?
Right now. Mostly from East Asian countries. But the report says there's a huge opportunity to tap into markets like Southeast Asia, North America.
Diversify that visitor base. Exactly. And that can really help fill in those shoulder seasons, make the whole tourism landscape more balanced.
So, diversification is key. And speaking of trends, what about the economic side of things? The DBJ actually made some pretty bold projections, did they?
They did. By 2030, they're projecting that adventure tourism could bring an extra 3.2 million visitors to Hokkaido.
Wow.
And get this, that translates to a potential boost in revenue of 1 trillion yen.
1 trillion yen. Okay, that is some serious cash.
Yeah, it's huge. But obviously, it's going to take more than just wishing and hoping to make that happen, right? There needs to be a plan.
Well, thankfully, it sounds like the DBJ has some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
What are some of the steps the report outlines to make this vision a reality?
A big one is the role of destination management organizations. DMOs.
DMOs. Okay, break that down for me. What exactly are we talking about here?
They're essentially local organizations, right? And they bring together everyone involved in tourism, businesses, government, the local community, everyone.
So they're like the conductors of the tourism orchestra, making sure everybody is playing the same tune.
Perfect analogy. And the DBJ says these DMOs really need to step up and become the leaders in developing those strategies.
Lead the charge, so to speak.
Yeah. Coordinating efforts, making sure that adventure tourism actually benefits everyone involved, the local economy, the environment, everybody wins.
Sounds like a huge responsibility.
It is. And the report acknowledges that a lot of DMOs may need some extra support to really thrive in this evolving landscape.
Like what kind of support? Training programs, funding.
All of that. Access to data, best practices, they need the right tools for the job, basically.
They definitely do. And I'm guessing it's not just about tools. You also need a good blueprint.
Absolutely. And the report actually dives into that as well. It's not just about the what of adventure tourism, but the HOW.
Okay, so what's the HOW?
For example, they highlight the importance of seamless and sustainable transportation options.
Ooh, transportation. Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more about this piece of the puzzle.
So it's not just about making sure people can get from point A to point B. They're saying transportation should be part of the experience itself.
Part of the experience. Okay, now you've got me really intrigued.
Right, like imagine scenic train journeys winding through the mountains. Or even some futuristic options, like flying cars.
Flying cars.
Hey, it's not as far-fetched as it sounds. The report talks about green, slow mobility, low-speed electric vehicles designed for short distances.
I'm picturing, like, futuristic golf carts cruising through these stunning landscapes.
That's the idea, but maybe a bit more stylish.
Of course.
And it's not just air taxis and green, slow mobility. It's about integrating those with the existing systems. Trains, buses.
To create a truly interconnected, sustainable system.
Exactly. And that enhances the travel experience for everyone.
I love it. Now, this all sounds amazing, but it's still largely theoretical, right? I mean, are there actually any real-world examples of this vision being put into practice in Hokkaido right now?
Oh, absolutely. And that's what's so great about this report. It's grounded in reality. Like, take the Sharotoko Peninsula.
Absolutely, and that's what's so great about this report. It's grounded in reality. Like, take a Sharotoko Peninsula.
Sharotoko. Okay, now you're talking. That's definitely on my travel bucket list. I've heard incredible things about the wildlife there.
It's truly spectacular, and they've actually been developing ecotourism initiatives there for years, focused on those activities that let visitors experience all that natural beauty.
Without, destroying it in the process.
Exactly.
So what kind of activities are we talking about here?
Think guided hikes through these, like, pristine forests, kayaking alongside whales and dolphins.
Oh, wow.
Wildlife watching expeditions with, like, experienced naturalists, all with a huge emphasis on conservation, respect for the environment.
That's awesome. It's really amazing to see how a place like that, with such a fragile ecosystem, can actually balance tourism with conservation. It really sets a good example for the rest of the world.
It really does. Are there any other examples in Hokkaido of these kinds of adventure tourism initiatives that are already, like, taking off?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Over in the Niseko area.
Niseko. Famous for its skiing, right?
World-class skiing. But there's this growing movement there towards year-round adventure tourism. They're expanding way beyond the winter sports.
So it's not just all about the skiing anymore.
Nope. They're adding things like mountain biking, hiking, even whitewater rafting in the summer.
Wow, it's like they're taking a page directly from the DBJ report, diversifying those offerings.
Exactly.
Attracting visitors year-round. That must be great for the local businesses there.
Absolutely. It helps to create that stable, sustainable tourism economy. And it's not just about the activities themselves. They've also been working on developing the supporting infrastructure.
Okay, so break that down for me. Supporting infrastructure. What exactly are we talking about here?
Well, think like cycling routes, well-maintained, winding through the countryside, eco-friendly accommodation options, and then those farm-to-table dining experiences that really showcase all the incredible local produce.
It's like they're creating this whole ecosystem for responsible travel.
Exactly.
It's the kind of trip I dream about, you know? You get to have fun, explore new places, but you also know you're doing it in a way that benefits the local people, the environment. It's a win-win.
Exactly. And it seems like this DBJ report is kind of providing a roadmap for other areas in Hokkaido to follow suit.
Yeah, that's a blueprint.
They're highlighting best practices, showcasing those success stories, and really encouraging a more strategic, collaborative approach to tourism development.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is that it's not just about getting more tourists, it's about getting the right T kind of tourists.
Absolutely.
People who actually care about sustainability.
Right, who are interested in experiencing nature, respecting the local culture. People like our listeners.
Exactly. People who are listening to this deep dive right now. And that shift in mindset is so important. It's about moving away from that old model of mass tourism and, stepping into a more responsible way of traveling the world.
Completely agree.
So what does all of this mean for you, the savvy EcoHub listener who's thinking about their next big adventure?
Well, if you've ever dreamed of exploring Japan, Hokkaido might be the perfect destination.
It's a place where adventure and sustainability really do go hand in hand.
They do. And as this report shows, Hokkaido is serious about doing tourism right.
Sustainably, responsibly,
Yeah.
with that deep respect for the environment and the local people.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to book a flight and pack my hiking boots. This whole conversation has really got me thinking about, the power of individual travelers. Like, what can each of us do to ensure our own travel experiences are as sustainable as possible?
It's a great question. The report really focuses on those DMOs we talked about, but individual choices matter too.
They really do. And as you plan your next adventure, think about that. Think about the impact you can have.
Love that. So travel responsibly, folks, and keep exploring. EcoHub Podcast, signing off. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what's so great about this report. It's not just pie in the sky ideas, It's grounded in reality. Like, take the Shiratoko Peninsula.
Sure, Toko, now you're talking. That place is definitely on my bucket list. I've heard amazing things about their wildlife.
It's truly spectacular. And they've been developing ecotourism initiatives there for years, focusing on those activities that allow visitors to experience the natural beauty.
Without harming it, of course.
Exactly.
So what kinds of things are we talking about?
Think like guided hikes, kayaking alongside whales and dolphins.
Wow.
Wildlife watching expeditions led by experienced naturalists.
Yeah.
All with this strong emphasis on conservation and respect for the environment.
It's amazing to see how they've managed to balance tourism with protecting such a delicate ecosystem. It's a real model for other places to follow.
It is.
Are there any other examples of these adventure tourism initiatives in Hokkaido that are already, gaining some traction?
Yeah, definitely over in the Niseko area.
Niseko, which is famous for the skiing.
World-class skiing. But there's this growing movement there towards year-round adventure tourism.
So it's not just a winter destination anymore.
Nope, they're going way beyond just the winter sports now.
Like what?
They're adding mountain biking, hiking, and even whitewater rafting in the summer.
It's like they're taking all the advice from this DBJ report, diversifying those offerings.
Exactly.
Attracting visitors throughout the year. That must be huge for those local businesses, keeping things going year-round.
It really helps create this more stable and sustainable tourism economy for sure. And it's not just about the activities themselves. They've also been focusing on developing all that supporting infrastructure.
Okay, supporting infrastructure. So what exactly are we talking about here?
Think like well-maintained cycling routes, winding through the countryside, eco-friendly accommodations, farm-to-table dining experiences.
They're really going all out.
Yeah, they want to create this truly immersive experience, but a sustainable one too.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like they're weaving together all these different elements to create this holistic travel experience. One where you can have fun, explore new places,
Right.
but you know that you're also doing it in a way that benefits everyone. The local community, the environment.
Exactly.
It's the kind of trip that I dream about. And it sounds like this DBJ report is providing a really clear roadmap for other regions in Hokkaido to kind of follow their lead.
It is, and it's highlighting those best practices, showcasing success stories, encouraging that more strategic and collaborative approach to developing tourism.
Again, what's really exciting here is that it's not just about attracting more tourists. It's about attracting the right kind of tourists. People who are genuinely interested in nature, respecting the local culture, supporting those sustainable practices. People like our listeners.
Absolutely. Yeah. That shift in mindset is so important. It's about moving away from the old way of doing things, that mass tourism model, and stepping into this more mindful and responsible way of experiencing the world.
So what does all of this mean for you, the savvy EcoHub listener? Well, if you've ever dreamed of exploring Japan, Hokkaido might just be your next dream destination.
A place where adventure and sustainability truly go hand in hand.
And as this report shows, Hokkaido is committed to doing things the right way, sustainably, responsibly, and with that deep respect for the environment and the local communities.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you, but I'm already checking flights and packing my hiking boots. This report has given me so much to think about, especially the role of individual travelers in shaping the future of adventure tourism.
It's a great point. The report focuses a lot on those DMOs we discussed.
Yeah.
But what about the power of individual choices? What can each of us do to make sure that our adventures are as sustainable and impactful as possible?
Such a good question.
That's something I hope our listeners will really ponder as they plan their next big trip.
I love that thought. The power is in our hands to make a difference. So choose wisely, travel responsibly, and keep exploring EcoHub Podcast signing off. We'll see you on the next deep dive.